and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. And today I'm in this jumper that David hates. I got this jumper, I'm only mentioning it because I put it on my Instagram. Got this jumper secondhand from Depop, because that's where everything comes from, secondhand on Depop. I think it was originally Warehouse or Oasis or something. I really like it. I think it's quite like 70s, the browns and this, and also this is the softest thing ever. I wore it and David said, oh, I don't hate it, I just hate the colour, the pattern, the collar, the fit and the style. So he hates everything. But I think it's quite nice. I think it goes quite nice with dungarees as well. Anyway, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. This is a tag that I enjoy doing at the end of every year. Are we saying it's the end of the year? I guess we are in the last 3/4 of the year. I've just watched the video of Aoife doing this from the channel Words of Clover. I will link her video down below. If you're not subscribed, go over and subscribe. Love her channel. She's one of the hosts of the Irish Readathon, which you'll know that I take part in every year. And yeah, watched her do that and thought, oh my god, I need to do that. So here I am watching it and doing it on the same day. So very, very thrilled to be doing it. There are 6 questions all to do with reading and what you're expecting for the end of the year to into next year. I really enjoy doing this every year, and it's sort of like become a bit of a sort of check-in on how my reading's going and what sort of hopes I've got going forward. So let's start it. So the first question is, also, if you don't have a booktube channel but you would like to answer any of these questions, please do so in the comments. I will write the questions below in the information, and then let me know in the comments what your answers to some or one of the questions are. Would love to hear from you. Number 1 question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I am a book starter and then sort of let them languish, and there's a few here which I need to get read by the end of the year, just for completeness. One I think I'm going to go over to next year because well, let's just talk about it, shall we? So the first one is an audiobook. I am 2 hours 48 minutes left of Takeaway by Angela Hui. There it is. This is a memoir of Angela living in Wales as a child. Her parents are Chinese immigrants and they have opened a takeaway there, and her living in Wales, being born in Wales and living in Wales whilst her parents own and run a takeaway, a Chinese takeaway. She works there as well. What it's like for her, I mean, it's making me want a Chinese literally every single time I listen to it, but also like the goings on behind running a takeaway, behind being bilingual but potentially not speaking as good Chinese as your parents do, so that your relationship with them is always a bit and then looking different from everybody else that lives around you in Wales because you're of Chinese descent. I'm very much enjoying it. I'm very, very much enjoying it, and as I said, I've got 2 hours 48 minutes left of that. Then this is expected because this is read a little bit every day. So this is Nigel Slater, The Christmas Chronicles. So this is I mean, I read this every year, so I think this book appears on this video every year as well. So this is a book which it has a little like diary entry every day in from Nigel, talking about different foods and recipes and things to do with Christmas. It's got beautiful Christmas photography. I mention it literally all year basically. I'm a little bit behind with it because it's the 17th of November today and I'm on the 14th, which was Candlelight and Roast Cabbage, and this is a particular favourite because I'm used to reading this. It's become one of my rituals, as Nigel says. I get used to like certain entries in here and ones that I really look forward to, and this one talks all about candles and like candle care and where he gets his candles from. I will never be able to afford to get my candles from where he gets his candles from, but yeah, so I really enjoyed that chapter, so I will need to read that, but that'll be ongoing. That actually goes into, I say, do I need to have this finished by the end of the year? The last entry of this is the 2nd of February, so this will go on, this will go through to next year. Then I've got a book David and I started reading. David and I at the beginning of the year had high hopes, and perhaps we'll pick it up towards the end of the year. We were reading aloud to one another, adorable. Every month I was picking a book, then the next month he was picking a book, and we were reading that book aloud to one another. We read 2 books, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro and Odd One Out by Nick Stone. I picked Never Let Me Go. David picked Odd One Out. Then I picked another one which we didn't get on with, and then this was David's pick, which we were enjoying, but we literally got 79 pages in and then haven't read any more. So whether or not we will try and read this aloud to one another by the end of the year, or whether I'll just blitz through it. Stanley Tucci seems to be everywhere at the moment. He's got a very, very good TV programme, second series of Stanley Tucci's Italy, I think it's called, on the BBC, where he goes to visit different places in Italy and looks at the food there. He's on every single podcast I listen to, basically. He's guesting on those at the moment. And I really enjoyed this, and I love food non-fiction, so we'll look forward to continuing that. And it's the sort of thing which I feel like I can continue with because it's a memoir and I can sort of just pick up. However, the book that I mentioned earlier that I want to start again in the new year, so this is on my will read next year list, because I'm halfway through it, but I'd love to go back and give it the time that it deserves because I was really enjoying it. It's The Seawomen by Chloe Timms. This is a proof copy. And disclaimer, me and Chloe are pals now. We've been out for lunch. But was really, really enjoying this book, which is a little like The Mercies, a little bit like The Handmaid's Tale, yeah, was like about mermaids and living on an island and all stuff that I love. I was reading it and then I went away somewhere and forgot to take it with me, and then started reading something else, and then it just never happened. So I need to get back to it, and I would like to start it again from the beginning. So that is one that I've put on this I started this year that I need to finish. I'm going to read that next year. Then I've got Poems for Every Autumn Day, which I'm almost through. I've been reading one of these on my Friday reading vlogs. Hopefully you've been enjoying watching those as well. We're about to finish this one and then move on to Poems for Every Winter Day, so that's going to be done. And I'm also, this has been taking a long time, I'm reading, this is my reading series that I've been doing, where I've been reading each of the books in the Six Tudor Queens series. I'm on the last book in the series now, which is Katharine Parr, The Sixth Wife. And yeah, it's just taken me ages. It's just taken me ages because it's a really big book and I haven't wanted to take it away with me or elsewhere with me because it's not very transportable. It's super heavy as well. So I haven't been like as into it as the other ones I have. But I am enjoying it. I really am, and I need to vlog a little bit more so that the vlog is ready because, yeah, I'm over halfway through, and I will get to that. So those are the books that I've got to read by the end of the year, plus one that's going to go over to next year. Question 2, God, 7 minutes in, question 2. Do you have any autumnal books to transition you into the end of the year? If I'm being honest, I'm over autumnal books now. As I said, it's the 17th of November, so autumn, there's still a few little golden leaves on the trees and stuff, but I've been collating sort of my Christmas reading, really. So to transition me into those books, so in December I read purely Christmas books, which is something I've done for the past few years and I really, really enjoy doing it. But I've got a few wintry books, which sort of have snowy climates. I tend to read books like that in January as well, but yeah, so I've got 2 books. One that I want to read because it's one of my favourite books ever, and it's my birthday month in November as well, so I like to treat myself to sort of like some books that I would enjoy reading, and that's Names for the Sea, Strangers in Iceland by Sarah Moss. As I've said, this is a reread. It's something I've really read before many times and really enjoyed. This is Sarah's account of moving to Iceland to take a job there and moving her young family along there, and just what it's like living as an English person in another country and the differences there. And I really, really enjoy the detail she goes into and how descriptive and beautiful it is. And she talks about really sort of like everyday stuff and like where she puts the kids in school, where she does her food shopping, what they do at the weekends, to sort of like more historical Icelandic stuff. Like there's a lot in here to do with trolls and things like that. So yeah, I really, really love it. And David and I are going on our honeymoon we're going to Norway, which obviously is not geographically close to Iceland, but they seem to have a bit of a culture of trolls as well. So I'm quite looking forward to rereading that trolls chapter so that I can liken it to any of the Norwegian troll stuff, which hopefully I'm going to learn when I go on my cruise. So there we go. And then this I've just got out from the library, which is snow based. So this is A Woman Made of Snow by Elizabeth Gifford. This is from a library. It says A Scottish Castle, An Arctic Voyage and Generations Old Mystery. It's from the large print section. If you, like me, can't really read very well with your glasses off, these large print books, which you can get from all libraries, I would think, even my small library that I am near, they do a whole range of books that are in large print, so do check those out. So this is set in Scotland in 1949. Caroline Gillan and her new husband Alistair have moved back to Kelly Castle, his dilapidated family estate. Stuck caring for their baby and trying to find her way with an opinionated mother-in-law, Caroline feels adrift, alone and unwelcome. But when she is tasked with sorting out the family archives, Caroline discovers a century-year-old mystery that sparks her back to life. There is one Gillan bride who is completely unknown. No photos exist, no records kept. The only thing that is certain is that she had a legitimate child. Alistair's grandmother. As Caroline uncovers a story that stretches as far as the Arctic Circle, her desire to find out the truth turns obsessive. When a body is found in the grounds of the castle, her hunt becomes more than just a case of curiosity. So I got it because of the word snow and also wintry, but also I've really got, when you watch my Christmas TBR guys, you're really going to see that I have gone in hard on the sort of like Christmas at the castle type books. So I thought this would be a good transition into that. Question 3 is there a new release you're still waiting for? And the truth is, no, I don't think there is. This is like, I mean, we're past sort of like new releases for people, for books that are out for Christmas and stuff like that. That normally happens in October. So yeah, I don't think there are any new releases. If there's any new releases that you guys are looking forward to, do let me know, I'm interested. Question 4 is, what are 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? Here are those 3 books I want to read by the end of the year. Now the first one, that it is a bit autumnal if I'm being honest. It's The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. And I bought this to read in October because witches, and then pulled it forward to my, because I didn't get to read it in October, pulled it into my November TBR. So I'm hoping to read this by the end of the month. It's very autumnal. It's sort of got autumnal leaves on it. This looks very autumnal. Witches, that counts to me as autumnal. And this is about Mika. I've been reading some, I've read Juno Dawson's HMRC and absolutely loved that book about witches, so I'm hoping this is as good as that. This is about Mika Moon, who's one of the few witches in Britain who's lived her life by 3 rules: hide your magic, keep your head down, and stay away from other witches. She's an orphan raised by strangers from a young age. She's good at being alone, but she doesn't mind it, mostly. But then an unexpected message arrives begging her to travel to a remote and mysterious nowhere house to teach 3 young witches, and Mika jumps at the chance for a different life. So yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be, she knocked herself out there. Sounds like it's going to be super fun. And yeah, I would like to read that by the end of this month, let alone the end of the year. Then I've got 2 books that I'm very, very excited about. And they're both actually Patreon book club books. So if you also enjoy the sound of these, then do go along and join the Patreon book club. There's still time to join for the Christmas one. So the first one is our November Patreon book club. As I mentioned, it's my birthday in November, so I like to read things that are my favourite. And one of my favourite authors is Sarah Waters. This is the only Sarah Waters book I haven't read. And when I put up the poll for Patreon book club, I put this up against one I mean, I've enjoyed all of Sarah Waters' book, but The Paying Guest, which I read a good few summers ago and have sort of almost forgot about, so I put it up on the vote against that. This one, elated to be reading the last Sarah Waters book, however nervous because that means I've read all the Sarah Waters books, but I do want to go back and reread them all. And this is set in a Victorian prison, and we're following disgraced spiritualist Selena Dawes. She weaves an enigmatic spell. Is she a fraud or a prodigy? By the time it all begins to matter, you'll find yourself desperately wanting to believe in magic. Sarah Waters, her research when she writes books is second to none. Amazing, amazing, amazing depth and just detail that goes into the research of these books. So this is going to be fabulous. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. And that's our November Patreon book club. So if you join now, you can still join in for this, and you'll also get the Christmas book club. You can join the Christmas book club or Patreon book club all the way up until the 1st of December, so you've still got time. And then the December book that we're reading, which I'm also really excited to read, and I'm excited because David's excited, which makes me more excited to read things, and that's The Very Merry Murder Club, and this is edited by Serena Patel and Robin Stevens. It's a series of 13 winter crime stories aimed at a sort of YA middle grade audience, and it sounds super fun. It's got books, it's got stories in here from Abiola Bello, Rupa Faruqi, Serena Patel, who also edited it, Shana Jackson, Elle McNichol, and yeah, they all start, I mean, this is adorable, but look, they're all put in like little case study books. So this is It Takes a Thief to Catch a Thief, that's by Maisie Chan, and then the story follows that. Underneath the dust jacket, guys, it's unbelievable. End papers, you think they're good, you wait till you see under here. Look at it, it's unbelievable. And the paperback that you can get in Waterstones has sprayed edges, which are just as beautiful. So yes, looking forward to these 3 very much. These 2 I definitely will be reading. I just hope I can fit this in this month. So there we go. Number 5 is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? Well, this maybe, because I've had a favourite book of the year which has been written by Sarah Waters before. Last year, in fact, Fingersmith was my favourite book of the year. So there's every chance that that could. Maybe not my favourite, but one of my favourites, because one of these books has also been a favourite of mine before, and that's the new Carol Ann Duffy little mini poetry book. So there's a whole selection of these. I haven't got all of my Christmas books out of storage yet. There's a whole selection of these where Carol Ann Duffy writes a long form poem, and then they publish them in these little tiny like hardbacks, and then they get a different illustrator in every year to illustrate them. This one this year is called Advent Street, and it's illustrated by Jelena Briskenskova, who I think might also be the illustrator. Hold on. No, not at all. I thought she was the illustrator of these books as well. I thought that looked a bit familiar, but no, it doesn't. So yeah, so this is and the one that I've loved before and is one of my favourite books of all time is Another Night Before Christmas, which is illustrated by Rob Ryan, and it's a beautiful little poetry book. So there's every chance that these could have, they're just so beautifully made, like all of these little bits of like foil in the windows and on this street sign. Gorgeous. Can't wait to read it. I'm not going to look at it now because it's for Christmas and it's to be excited by. And then the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Well, I mentioned I want to reread the Sarah Waters books. That would be a nice thing to do. I've also, because I've been reading the 6 Tudor Queens books this year, and have been enjoying getting to know the Queens, there's also sort of like other characters I would like to get to know in that, from that historical period. And I know Alison Ware's written a lot of books. I've got one of them down here. The Last White Rose, which is about Elizabeth of York. I potentially will be doing another sort of historical project as well. And then there's 2 things which are going to, I mean, I don't want to laden myself with projects, but I do quite like doing this sort of thing. There's 2 things that are going to be appearing in my Christmas gift guide that are projects which are that I'm going to do next year. Both of which I'm super pumped and excited about. And both of which can be dipped in and out of. So it's not like, I love these projects and I love setting myself up and like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. But I'm not so good at actually delivering on reading one book, like one translated author book a month, or I'm much better if I've got the year to do it and then just dip in and out of it. And maybe one month I'll do 5 books off of that list and none the next month or something. So yeah, there's 2 projects which will be coming up, which after, well, once you've seen my Christmas gift guide, which I think is coming out on the, I've written it down here, 4th of December, you might be able to guess what some of my reading projects for next year will involve. So yeah, so they're the questions. Always enjoy doing this, always enjoy doing this. Let me know, as I said, your answers if you haven't got a booktube channel, or if you've got a booktube channel and you've answered this question, link me a video. I do like to watch these. But if you haven't got a booktube channel and you would like to answer some of these questions, just answer them in the comments. I'll link them all below in the information. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon for another booktube video.